Welcome. Starting a new tenancy at Arthur Connius Real Estate. This presentation is designed to assist you to have a smooth tenancy during your time at Arthur Connius Real Estate. In the folder in front of you is a copy of the 18A General Tenancy Agreement, a copy of the Form 2 Bond Lodgement Form, the Pocket Guide to the RTA Form 17A, documents relating to paying rent by Easy Debit, repair request forms, plus other things. So please have a pen and paper ready to take notes for your property manager at the end of this presentation. It is important to understand that the General Tenancy Agreement is a legally binding document. It requires you to pay your rent to the owner for a specific length of time. The Tenancy Agreement is made up of pages 1 to 10. Pages 1, 2 and 10 are specific to your tenancy and it is important to check all details to make sure they are correct. Pages 3 to 9 are standard and special terms to the tenancy agreement and apply to all tenants in Queensland, as governed by the Rooming and Accommodation Act. Now let's look in detail. Item 1 is the lessor. This is the owner of the property, and all correspondence relating to the property and notices should be in the owner's name, care of Arthur Connius Real Estate. Item 2 are the tenants. Please review. The details are correct, as this is a legally binding document. Item 2.2 is where you would address if you would like correspondence to be different to the rental property that you'll be residing in. Item 3 is the agent. We act on behalf of the owner. Item 4 is that we can send you email correspondence. This is applicable to the tenant, the lessor, and the agent. Item 5 is the address of the rental property you'll be occupying. Item 5.2 relates to the condition report. This is the condition of the property when you enter the property. It's also known as the Form 1A, and if you have an inventory related to this property, this also will be attached there. Item 6 is the term of the agreement. This also specifies the date the agreement is to start and end. It's very important that you make sure these dates are correct. So that is the fixed time that you'll be paying rent for the property. Page 2, item 7. This is the amount of rent that has been agreed upon to pay. Item 8 is the day rent must be paid. This is the day your agreement started. Please note, rent is to be paid in advance. If you're able to pay further in advance, that is fine. You can pay 2 weeks or a month in advance. The minimum we have on this agreement is 1 week in advance. Item 9 is to how you can pay your rent. Item 10 is to where rent can be paid. This can be through your institution or at our office. And the address of our office is supplied. Item 11 is the amount of bond that will be held by the Residential Tenancy Authority until the end of your tenancy and agreed upon how it's dispersed. Item 12 is services supplied to the premises for who and how the tenant must pay. You're responsible for connecting your electricity, your gas, your phone, and your Foxtel. If you are to change and get Foxtel into a rental property, you are required any changes that are made to a rental property to be authorised by your property manager. Item 13 is if the property is not individually metered, say for electricity or gas, then you are not liable to pay. Item 14 is where you are to pay for your utilities, and this is direct to the utility provider. Item 15 is the amount of tenants that have been approved to occupy the premises. If this has changed, you are to seek permission from your property manager, or you may be in breach of your tenancy agreement. Item 16, if body corporate laws are applicable to you, these items will be ticked. Body corporate bylaws form part of your general tenancy agreement. If the bylaws are not fulfilled, you may be in breach also of your general tenancy agreement. Item 17, pets. Pets can only reside at the rental property if approved either by your property manager or owner, and specifics relating to the tenancy of your pets will be on page 10 of this general tenancy agreement in the special terms part. Item 18 is nominated emergency repairers. In the event of an after-hours call-out for electricity, plumbing, or others, either glass or locksmith, then you're to refer to this item 18 of the general tenancy agreement. It's my recommendation that you put these in a safe place, either in your phone, in the event that you do need to find them quite quickly. Also, you are able to call a locksmith after hours if you're locked out and it's the owner's responsibility. If you've simply lost your keys, at any time you can come to our office and pick up a set, but we are not required to have a set on our premises. So please be aware that you are able to access a set of keys if we have some in the office, and if not, you'll be required to pay the call out fee for a locksmith. Page 3 of the tenancy agreement are your special terms of the agreement. Please note, special terms to your tenancy agreement will be in page 10 of your specific agreement. These will be specific to your rental property only. So please take note and read carefully. The bottom of page 10 is where you're to sign. You're to sign underneath your name and date. We'll also need this witness. Once you have signed and pages have been witnessed, then this is a legally binding document. Pages 3 to 9 are standard and special terms to the agreement. Please read over these carefully because they are specific to the general tenancy agreement in Queensland. Please contact the RTA if you have any further questions. Their number is 1300 366 311 or refer to your pocket guide provided. Any routine maintenance requests need to be in writing. Please fill out the maintenance request form that you've been provided in the sign-up pack. You can also download one from our website. The approved form can be returned by fax, email, post, or in hand to our office. You can also email your property manager, but please be aware the more detail you give the property manager and the more specific you have of what the maintenance request is, the easier it is to be able to send off to our tradespeople and get permission from our owners. Now, if this is an emergency, please call our office for attention during business hours. If it's after hours, please refer to page 2, item 18 of nominated emergency repair people. I just want to draw your attention to standard term 44 of your general tenancy agreement. It does say that a notice under the agreement must be written, and if there is an approved form for the notice, it should be provided in the approved form. Also note that item 8D, notices sent by email, is taken to have been received by the recipient when the emails enters the recipient server, not when it's read. The entry condition report could be one of your most important documents that you will receive at the beginning of your tenancy agreement. It must be returned in 3 days. This is not 3 business days. Please note the address that will be correct on the top of the form, your tenant details are correct, and the property that you're renting is correct. Also, water charging. If you're to pay for water, then make sure that the water meter reading is correct at the beginning of the general tenancy agreement. If it is not, please contact your property manager. On page 2 of this entry condition report, there are provisions that the lessor or lessor's agent are provided to say that the condition of the property at the beginning of your general tenancy agreement. On the right hand side, there is provision for you to make your own notations. Please sign and return a copy with your notes on the right hand side in 3 days as required by the Rooming and Accommodation Act. At the beginning of your tenancy, you'll be provided with 2 copies of the entry condition report. One is for your records. In the event you do not return the Form 1A, this will be a form we use for the end of the tenancy. The second form is for you to return, sign at the bottom of every page, and attach any relevant documentation you may have. This is not a maintenance form. They serve 2 different functions. If there is maintenance, please fill out the approved maintenance request form and return it to our office. The Bond Lodgement Form, Form 2. This is a very important document that you need to sign that needs to be lodged with the Residential Tenancy Authority. It is very important that the details are correct, so please review and sign in the appropriate right-hand corner. We have an easy debit BPay system at Arthur. Please fill out this form and hand it back to your property manager. She'll be able to allocate you a specific number that applies to your rental property, so you'll be able to BPay money into your account. This applies if our rent arrears management procedure. If you're 1 to 7 days late in the rent, you'll be receiving a phone call, an email, or an SMS from your property manager. If you have specific problems to pay your rent, it is wise to be able to tell your property manager ahead of time and contact us instead of we'll be contacting you. If in the event that you are 8 days behind on your rent, you're in breach of your residential tenancy agreement, and a breach notice can be sent. If the rent has not been paid by the 17th day, then a notice to leave will be issued. Please contact your property manager if you cannot pay your rent, and they may work with you to be able to find a solution to this problem. Routine inspections. These are conducted every 3 to 4 months by your property manager, and at least 7 days prior to the inspection, a Form 9 and entry notice will be sent informing you of the upcoming inspection. Your property manager will be inspecting any imminent or future maintenance required and reporting back to the owner, as well as checking how you are maintaining the rental property. It is very important to maintain the property, as this will be used in future references you may require. Ending a tenancy. If you're ending your tenancy, you are to do so in writing. Please provide written notice by way of the Form 13 Notice of Intention to Leave to our office. If you're ending an agreement early, not stated as an approved method under the Act, then please contact your property manager for advice. In an emergency situation where there is an imminent flooding or a roof leaking, please call the SES, or if you're in a life-threatening situation, please call 000. Your property manager cannot help you until after a storm has passed, so please call the SES to help minimize any damage to the property or yourself. Your property manager will organise your smoke alarms to be tested 30 days prior to the start of your tenancy or at the lease renewal. You are not to tamper, cover, or dismantle this life-saving device. If the batteries need changing during the tenancy, it is your responsibility to do so. If they are faulty, please treat this as an emergency and contact your property manager for the repair. Your safety switch is the first switch to trip if an appliance is faulty. You will need to unplug your appliances one at a time until you find the faulty appliance. If it is an owner's appliance, please contact your property manager for repair. We've enclosed the privacy statement to you to review. We do give your details out to any nominated repair person so they can organise access to your rental property. Please refer to the checklist at the end to make sure that we've covered all the relevant information for your tenancy agreement. And thank you for your time.